Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video on the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my first ever Nintendo console, which I ever got. This was a Nintendo 2DS, and at the time it was a very special thing to me, so let's get into this. So I was about, anyway, how old was I? I was about 5 years old, and it was my 5th birthday, and my mum and my nan both got me, they both put their money into it. They both got me this like cool Nintendo 2DS thing, which was blue and black. It was the standard one, there was no extra game for it, and yeah, it was an amazing console. I loved it. It was my first ever device. You could say it was my first ever device, you could say. But like, this was before I ever got my first tablet, which I don't exactly know what make it was, and I don't have it anymore. But eventually, saddest day of my life here. Actually, no, we're not going to get to that part yet. I have some extra news to talk about. So, I eventually ended up going to one of my mum's friends' house, and they all had there was about 6 kids there, and they all had the exact same blue and black 2DS that I had, and I had the stupid idea that I was going to bring my 2DS there, and what a great idea that was, because eventually it accidentally got swapped out. Yeah, my mum and her friend kind of had a fallout right after that, so never saw that 2DS again. Unfortunately, my 2DS was swapped out with was the game card slot wasn't working, and because I never bought any digital games, all the games I had were on a game card. Which the reason for that was because Nintendo eShop prices are like, even now they're like $30 for a game. That's wow. But back then you could get like a second-hand game for like, I don't know, $15 $10 if you're lucky. And it was just like easier and more convenient to get a cartridge instead. Now, unfortunately, because I never saw my 2DS ever again, and there was no way we were going to get it back after my mum and her friend had a fight, unfortunately, I kind of just had to accept it, deal with it, and throw my 2DS away. Or, well, not the one that I was... Not my one, but, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, I had to throw the 2DS away. There was no point in it anymore, and it was just taking up space. And I don't know why, but for some reason I decided to take the SD card out and keep it. So if I ever got a new 2DS or whatever, I could put the SD card in a new 2DS for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. And it was really stupid because obviously it wasn't my 2DS, so there was no point in me having or keeping the SD card for it to put it in another 2DS. That just made no sense. And around this time where I threw away my 2DS, or I'm just going to call it my 2DS, my little sister got her own red and white 2DS. And I was very jealous. Very jealous. No, it wasn't my little sister, it was my older sisters. They both got the same one. They were twins, by the way. They're twins. One of them decided that they were going to throw it against a wall because they raged at New Super Mario Bros. DS. Yeah, that didn't survive. Another 2DS in the trash can. And to be honest, I still think I have my other sister's working 2DS somewhere in this house, actually. I don't think we ever threw it away. I don't think it ever broke because my older sister never used it. But the circle pad, the cover for it did come off. So I'll try and find an image. If not, then I don't know. But I'll try and find an image and put it on screen. But yeah, my older sister threw her 2DS against the wall. And the other one never used it. So I don't know why, but she wouldn't let me have it, even though like She never used it, but the circle pad came off somehow. I'm not sure how. And then for my youngest sister's birthday, she was like 3 years old, by the way, at the time. She got her own 2DS with which was the exact same red and white 2DS as my older sister's ones, except it came pre-installed with New Super Mario Bros. 2 Special Edition. I don't know the difference to this day. There's practically no difference at all between the two editions, except one for some reason came in pre-installed on 2DS's and the other one didn't. Don't know why it's called Special Edition. The only difference I've noticed is like the icon for the game only has Mario in it and not Mario and Luigi, but oh well. And I was extremely jealous, as you know. It wasn't exactly my fault that my 2DS was stolen by some ungrateful brat at my mum's friend's house. But, yep, I just kind of had to accept it. And I had no idea what I did for the remaining time that I had a broken 2DS, or I didn't have a 2DS. I think at one point I actually went into my older sister's room and stole her 2DS, not the one that came with New Super Mario Bros. 2, but I stole her 2DS for like 2 days, and because obviously for some reason, I don't know why, but on every 3DS, the cartridges, all the data is stored on the cartridge, so all the progress is stored on the cartridge, and not on the system itself, like the Wii U, Nintendo Switch. I wish they still did that, because it makes it easier to transfer data if you break your Wii U, Nintendo Switch, or whatever else. But at the time, I was in the middle of playing Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros. Or Mario and Luigi Dream Team, depending on where you live. It's Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros in the UK, but Mario and Luigi Dream Team in like the US and stuff. But anyway, I was into I was into Mario and Luigi Dream Team, and I had my cartridge. I never let go of it, like I did with the SD card. I never let go of any of my games for some reason. I'm quite happy I didn't, because I'll get to that later. But I remember putting my Mario and Luigi Dream Team cartridge in my older sister's DS, and I played a little bit of Mario and Luigi Dream Team, and I actually got onto what's it called? I think it's called Somnum Woods, the one that's like where you find the Zkeeper. I don't know. I still have a copy. I still have that exact copy of Mario and Luigi Dream Team somewhere. I actually dumped it to my new 2DS, which I'll get to later, with Homebrew. But after this, my sister found that I was playing on her 2DS, snatched it off me, and never returned the game card, which you know. And then she had the stupid idea, and I still never forgived her for this, but she decided that she was going to teach me a lesson, and she went onto my game cartridge, and she actually deleted my save data, and I was so close to the end of the game. You don't even know how mad I was at her. Yeah, I was very mad at her. Very mad at her. Yeah, very mad. Anyway, she erased all my data, and then decided to return my cartridge to me. And you can bet that there was some tears that night. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. There were some very big tears that night, and someone was grounded. Me. I was grounded for stealing my older sister's 2DS. I don't know why, but yeah, I got very mad at my mother for grounding me and not telling off my older sister for deleting my save data. Yeah, I played about 100 hours on that game, by the way. Yeah. Anyway, after this, you could see my father could see how jealous I was about not having a 2DS, and my mum refused to get me another one because I was quote-unquote irresponsible. But my father decided for my next birthday, this was like literally over 5 months later, he was going to get me an a Nintendo 2DS, the exact same one I had before, blue and black, except it also came with New Super Mario Bros. 2 Special Edition. Keep in mind, I had this SD card from my old 2DS. Yeah, this that didn't end well. I didn't know that New Super Mario Bros. 2 was on the original, or was on the SD card for some reason. I thought it was installed right on the system. Ejected my SD card. And for some reason, I still hadn't gotten rid of. I know I said I threw it away, but my original 2DS I never got rid of. I kind of kept it, and turns out I kept a copy of Super Mario 64 DS on there. And I put the SD card in that one, and I decided I was gonna throw the 2DS away with the copy of Super Mario 64 DS in without noticing. But anyway. Not knowing that I had just lost a free copy of New Super Mario Bros. 2 Special Edition, I cried. I cried my eyes out that night. Yeah. Very sad. Very sad. But hey, I just got a new 2DS, so back to playing Mario and Luigi Dream Team all over again. Yippee! Happy, happy, happy. Da, 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 da. Happy, 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 happy. Yeah, so I got to... I still haven't beaten that game, by the way. I got to Neo Bowser Castle and kind of just gave up on it, but oh well. There wasn't much interesting about the rest of this part, but I did get a Nintendo Wii some point during the time of having this 2DS. And I still have the Nintendo Wii. It came homebrewed. Like, I bought it, my mum bought it secondhand. She bought it homebrewed. It was homebrewed when she bought it, so there was, like, a bunch of games on it already. And, like, I remember there being Super Mario 64. And because I had lost my free copy of Super Mario, oh, not my free copy, I had lost my Super Mario 64 DS copy, for some reason, I always thought the Super Mario 64 DS was the original version of Super Mario 64, so I always just called it Super Mario 64. And because the homebrewed Wii came with a N64 emulator pre-installed and a bunch of games on it already, and I was like, to my mum's boyfriend at the time, I was like, hey, since this has all the 64 games, do you think it has Super Mario 64? And he was like, that's what I'm thinking. And then he found the original version of Super Mario 64 on there. And I was overjoyed. I was going to play my favourite game again. And I started playing it. And I was like, where's Yoshi? And I was like, bro, this is so different. And he was like, oh, you meant Super Mario 64 DS? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, nah, kid, that's the original version. Sorry. And I was like, I thought the DS version was the original one. And then he was like, nah. Anyway, that was the only interesting part of that part. But after this had happened, by the way, I'm sorry that this is such a long video. But after that, I started playing Mario and Luigi Dream Team, the mini games, like the Bros Attack one, you know, like, where, like, you had to just constantly do the Bros Attacks until, you beat your high score. I was doing the 3D green shell one, and I kept missing it. Yeah, I kept missing it. And, it got to the point where I got so mad, I threw my 2DS on the floor, and I jumped on it 3 times. This was in, like, the March 2019. I specifically remember that, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But I threw it on the floor, and I stomped on it, and it broke. It broke. Keep in mind, I only had this for like. Well, actually, I did have that. I did have that DS for like a certain amount of time. I had it for like 3 years, I think. But yeah, I let it go in the worst way possible. I killed it. And I still think I have it somewhere. It's not fully broken, like, still, it's like half the screen's broken, half it's not. And, obviously, if you didn't know, the 2 screens on the 2DS are actually the same screen, because it doesn't fold, so it was just easier to make it the same screen. So both screens were broken. And that that's when I got my current 2DS, and luckily it was very close to my birthday. Very close to my birthday, actually. And I had gotten a new Nintendo 2DS XL, and I do have a clip of me unwrapping it, but I'm not going to show it for privacy reasons, because obviously I was very young and my mum was in the background, and yeah, I just didn't want to spoil it. But it came with Mario Kart 7 pre-installed, and in fact I still have that exact 2DS on me right now. Hang on, give me a moment. Ready? Listen. Still got Mario Kart 7, baby. I'm kidding. It's the same 2DS, but I did format the SD card on it for a certain reason. This was like 2 years. This was this year. I formatted it. What did I do? Oh yeah. So basically, I decided that it'd been like 3 years since I got my new Nintendo 2DS XL, and I had already gotten a Nintendo Switch the next year, so I kind of just forgot about my new Nintendo 2DS XL, and it was just locked away in my cupboard of forgotten things, until one day I found out about 3DS Homebrew, and I decided, ooh, I want to do that. So I grabbed my 2DS XL. And keep in mind, this only had a 4GB micro SD card in it, and I decided I was going to soft mod it. Good idea! You thought I was going to say bad idea. I did not brick it. It actually went really smoothly, actually. Everything went to plan. and I decided, out of pity, I was going to install Mario Kart 7 on it. So install Mario Kart 7 I did. And, yeah. That's where we are today. Actually, I did upgrade the micro SD card. I stole a 32GB micro SD card from my nan. I'm kidding. My nan bought me a micro SD card, 32 gigs. And then my little sister got really jealous when I got this 2DS, by the way. She got really jealous. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you know how my little sister had like a 2DS XL? Not a 2DS XL, but an original 2DS. She decided to put it in the sleep mode, put it under a pillow, and sleep on it that night. It overheated and died. So my little sister got really jealous when I got my 2DS XL and decided, Mommy, I want one! And I want apparently gets in this family. She got her own white lavender new Nintendo 2DS XL, which I also ended up homebrewing for her this year as well. Like right after mine, and I just used the micro SD card that was in my phone that I never used, which was 32 gigs, and don't tell her, but I actually stole it back and I formatted it, so now her 2DS is basically, you know, done for. Don't worry, I made a backup, so if I get another SD card, I'll just give it back to her and use that, but I need the SD card for like my Wii U, because I've actually decided I'm going to get myself a Wii U at some point this year. So I'm going to homebrew that on the micro SD card. You might be thinking, micro SD card not on Wii U. I've got an adapter for it, don't worry, bro. Mitsy thinks of everything, bro. But yeah, that's the end of this story. I hope you enjoyed. It was 20 minutes long, which was kind of surprising. Didn't expect that. But yeah, thank you for listening. It was really fun to make. If you want more content like this, just comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.